Mary Chen stood at the observation deck of the Exodus Prime, her reflection ghosting across the reinforced polycarbon viewport. Behind her, Earth hung in the void like a blue marble suspended in velvet darkness. She wouldn't see it again. None of them would. Final headcount confirms 11.4 billion souls aboard the fleet, Corey Martinez reported, his voice steady despite the magnitude of what they were doing. He approached from the command station, datapad clutched in his hand. Every ship is accounted for. We're ready to jump on your word. Mary nodded, not turning from the view. 23 years she'd served on the Galactic Council's Integration Committee. 23 years of diplomatic compromises, of bending human interests to accommodate species that viewed humanity as newcomers, as primitives barely worthy of a voice. The Vrin had blocked human expansion into 17 systems. The Kalth Collective had imposed trade sanctions that crippled Earth's outer colonies. The Cecile hive mind had voted to restrict human AI development, citing ethical concerns while their own synthetic workforce numbered in the trillions. And 3 months ago, the Council had made their final mistake. They think we're bluffing, Mary said quietly. Ambassador Threx sent another transmission an hour ago. He said humanity is too dependent on Council infrastructure to actually leave. Corey's jaw tightened. Threx was always an arrogant bastard. Did you respond? No. Mary finally turned to face him. In the sterile light of the observation deck, she looked older than her 47 years. There's nothing left to say. We told them our terms. We gave them 6 months to reverse the Genetic Heritage Act. They laughed. The act had been the breaking point. After decades of restrictive policies, the Council had declared that human genetic modifications, the very technology that had allowed humanity to survive the collapse, to colonize Mars and the Jovian moons, were now classified as biological weapons development. The penalty was immediate quarantine. Earth and all human colonies were to be isolated, their trade routes severed, their diplomatic status reduced to probationary. Humanity had built its response in utter silence. The Henderson drive worked better than we expected, Corey said, pulling up a holographic display. Our test ships made it to the Andromeda Relay in 3 weeks. That's faster than Council FTL by a factor of 7. Mary studied the data. While the Council had hoarded their faster-than-light technology, restricting human access to the slowest, most inefficient drives, human engineers had gone back to first principles. Dr. Cyril Henderson's breakthrough in quantum foam manipulation had been tested in secret facilities in the Kuiper Belt, away from Council monitoring stations. They never understood us, Mary murmured. They saw our diplomatic flexibility as weakness, our willingness to compromise as submission. She looked at Corey. They forgot we're the species that split the atom before we left our own gravity well, that we built fusion reactors in our garages and sent probes to other systems with chemical rockets. 3 minutes to jump, coordinates locked in, announced the ship's AI across the fleet. 3,000 vessels ranging from massive colony ships to nimble corvettes. Humanity prepared for exodus, not a retreat, a departure. The distinction mattered. Mary tapped her communicator. All ships, this is Chen. Final status check. The responses came in rapid succession. Engineering, green. Life support, optimal. Navigation, locked. Weapons, armed but cold. That last one was important. They weren't leaving in defeat. Council ship detected, Corey announced. The Harmonious Accord. They're hailing us. Put it through. Ambassador Threx's katana's face filled the screen, his compound eyes reflecting kaleidoscopic concern. Ambassador Chen, please. The Council is willing to discuss. No, Mary interrupted. You had 6 months. You had 2 centuries. Really, since first contact. You could have treated us as equals. You chose otherwise. You cannot survive without Council trade networks. Your technology is inferior. Was inferior, Corey cut in, unable to help himself. Past tense. Threx, the alien's antennae quivered. Where will you go? What will you do? Mary smiled, and there was no warmth in it. That's no longer your concern. But I'll tell you this much. We're taking our genetic technology, our AI research, our quantum drives, and our 11.4 billion very motivated people, somewhere you'll never find us. And we're taking something else too. She nodded to Corey, who transmitted a data package to the Council ship. That's a complete record of every human contribution to Council infrastructure over the past 2 centuries, Mary explained. Every power grid we upgraded, every medical advancement we shared, every diplomatic crisis we mediated. In 72 hours, all of that technology will lock. The backdoors we installed will activate. The support contracts we maintained will expire simultaneously. Threx's skin flushed purple. You sabotaged council systems. We ensured our work remained ours, Mary corrected. The Viren shipyards use human-designed antimatter containment. Your life support on 12,000 stations relies on human atmospheric processes. The Calth banking system runs on quantum encryption algorithms developed by human mathematicians. She leaned forward. You wanted us dependent on you. You never realized you'd become dependent on us. This is an act of war. No, Mary said softly. This is a divorce. We're leaving. You can't stop us. Your fastest ships are already 20 light years behind our slowest. And in 3 days, you're going to be very busy dealing with cascading infrastructure failures across 60% of council space. 1 minute to jump, the AI announced. Please, Threx said, and for the first time, Mary heard genuine fear in his synthesized voice. We can negotiate. The council will reconsider, Ambassador, Mary interrupted gently. Humanity is done negotiating with people who see us as subordinates. We're going to find a new neighborhood, build our own future, and maybe, in a few centuries, we'll develop into something worthy of meeting you again as actual equals. She cut the connection. 30 seconds. Mary took Corey's hand. He squeezed back, his palm warm and solid. Any regrets? He asked. She thought about Earth, about the blue oceans and green continents, about cities that had stood for millennia, about the graves of her parents in the New Mexico desert, about everything humanity was leaving behind. No, she said. We're taking what matters with us. The rest is just real estate. 10 seconds. 98. The jump drives hummed to life across 3,000 ships. Space itself began to fold, quantum mechanics bending to human will and mathematics. 3, 2, 1. In utter silence, the humans walked away. Behind them, the Galactic Council was left to count the cost of their arrogance, their systems failing one by one, their calls for help echoing into empty space where humanity's ships had been, and ahead, in unexplored quadrants of the galaxy, humanity carried its dreams, its technology, and its determination to a future they would build on their own terms. The exodus was complete. The real journey was just beginning. End.